Your body is not against you, but it has a defense system that is far smarter than any fat-burning trick you've ever tried. And that system is the reason why 6 things you might be doing right now, thinking they're burning fat, are actually working against you. Every single one of them has a logic that seems perfect on the surface. Zach is 30 years old. He's been trying to lose fat for 6 months. He does all 6, and he's not losing fat. Today, you're going to understand why. Mistake 1, healthy smoothies and juices. Zach starts every day with a green smoothie, spinach, banana, apple, ginger, a little honey. Sounds like the healthiest thing in the world. Fruits, vegetables, no fat, no processed food. The problem isn't what's in the smoothie, it's what the smoothie does, or rather what it doesn't do is inside your body. Researchers gave 2 groups the same amount of calories. One group ate solid food, the other drank it as liquid. The group that ate solid food compensated automatically. They ate less for the rest of the day. The compensation was 118%. The group that drank the same calories in liquid form, -17% compensation. They added those calories on top of what they were already eating normally, and they gained weight. The reason is physiological. When you chew, your body activates a cascade of satiety hormones. When you drink, even if it's spinach and banana, that cascade isn't activated the same way. And there's more. Fructose, or the dominant sugar in fruit, doesn't stimulate insulin the same way glucose does, and without that insulin spike, leptin, the hormone that tells your brain you're full, doesn't rise. And ghrelin, the hunger hormone, doesn't fall. You drank the smoothie, but your brain never received the signal that you ate. Zach's smoothie averages 450 calories and 50 grams of sugar. More sugar than a can of regular soda. And he eats a full breakfast afterward because he's still not satisfied. Next time, just try eating it, Zach. Mistake 2, avoiding carbs at night, thinking they make you fat. Zach doesn't eat carbs after 6 in the evening. Rice at dinner, out. Sweet potato at night, no way. After 6 weeks, only protein and vegetables. Nobody told Zach that life doesn't have to be this painful. The logic seems solid. Carbs turn into energy. And at night, you don't burn energy, so they go straight to fat. Seems right. It isn't. What determines whether you gain or lose fat is not the time you eat the carbohydrate. It's the total calories you consume throughout the entire day. Simple. Your body doesn't have a clock that converts food into fat at 6 in the evening. It has an energy balance that operates over 24 hours. Studies that compared groups eating the same amount of calories and carbs, one concentrating carbs in the morning, the other at night, found no significant difference in fat loss. What changes at night is not carbohydrate metabolism, it's behavior. People who cut carbs at dinner often end the day with an accidental calorie deficit, not because the timing matters, but simply because they ate fewer options. Zach's problem wasn't the carbs at night. It was that without carbs at dinner, he was hungry at 10 at night, and then he'd eat 2 protein bars and half a jar of peanut butter, thinking it was allowed. He cut the rice. He added 500 calories in fat. Timing doesn't make you fat. Total calories do. Mistake 3, excessive fasted cardio. Zach wakes up at 5:30 in the morning. He runs 45 minutes fasted before anything else. The logic exists and has a real basis. Training without eating forces the body to use fat as fuel. That's true. During fasted training, you burn more fat as an energy substrate. The problem is what happens in the 24 hours that follow. A controlled study compared 2 groups in a calorie deficit. One trained fasted, the other ate before. Protein was matched between both groups. Result after 4 weeks. No significant difference in fat loss. The extra fat burned during fasted training was approximately 3 grams. 3 grams, less than a single walnut. And on top of that, Pontzer's model on total energy expenditure shows that the more cardio you pile on, the more the body compensates by lowering resting metabolism and spontaneous activity throughout the day. You burn more during the workout, you burn less outside of it, and appetite goes up. Zach wakes up at 5:30, runs for 45 minutes, burns 3 extra grams of fat, and arrives at lunch with a hunger that compensates for all of that and a little more. Cardio isn't wrong. excessive cardio as the main fat loss strategy is. If this video is being useful to you, subscribe to the channel right now, my friends. Thank you for the 50 subscribers. Tani is very happy. Stay tuned because the next 3 mistakes are the ones that will surprise you the most. Mistake 4, diet, low fat, and clean food without controlling portions. Zach only buys healthy food, organic granola, low-fat yogurt, whole grain crackers, natural protein bar, extra virgin olive oil. Everything he eats has some label that justifies the choice, and he eats without measuring because it's healthy. Here's the problem. When a product removes fat, it needs to put something in its place to maintain flavor. That something is usually sugar or refined carbohydrate. Zach's low-fat yogurt has more sugar than the full-fat version, but beyond the composition, there's what researchers call the health halo. When you believe a food is healthy, you underestimate the calories and eat more. Experiments show that people serve themselves larger portions of foods labeled healthy or low-fat and still feel entitled to eat more for the rest of the day because they already took care of themselves. Zach's organic granola has 550 calories per cup. He pours 2 because it's healthy, 1,100 calories before 8 in the morning. The problem was never what the food is, it was how much goes in. Mistake 5, thermogenic fat burner supplements. Zach takes a thermogenic before his workout. The promise is clear on the label: speeds up metabolism, increases fat burning, maximizes results. And there's a real basis to that. Caffeine, green tea extract, capsaicin, these ingredients do genuinely increase energy expenditure slightly. A classic study measured the effect of repeated caffeine doses over 12 hours. The increase in energy expenditure was real, between 80 and 150 calories per day. 80 calories, that's the ceiling of the thermogenic in the best case scenario with repeated doses before tolerance develops. And tolerance develops fast. After a few weeks of daily use, the body adapts and the effect disappears. And as you already know if you watch the pre-workout video here on the channel, I'll leave it for you to watch at the end of this video. And while metabolism goes up 80 calories, the insomnia caused by the stimulant raises cortisol, which increases abdominal fat storage, and raises ghrelin, which increases hunger. Zach is paying for a supplement that at best burns the equivalent of half a slice of bread per day, and that might be sabotaging the sleep that would be his greatest ally for fat loss. Mistake 6, 100 crunches a day to burn belly fat. Zach does 100 crunches every day, literally every single day. The logic seems obvious, like working the muscle under the fat will burn the fat on top of it. That's called spot reduction, and it was tested. I don't even need to cite studies for you to realize that doing 100 crunches every day is a bit extreme. But here we go. A study took 24 adults and put half of them through 7 AB exercises 5 times a week for 6 weeks. At the end of 6 weeks, no significant difference in body weight, body fat percentage, abdominal fat, or waist circumference. 0. 6 weeks of daily ab work. 0 change in the belly. The reason is simple. Fat is not burned where the muscle is working. It's mobilized through the bloodstream from wherever the body decides to pull it from, and the body rarely decides to pull from the belly first because abdominal fat has different receptors that are more resistant to mobilization. Think of it like a glass of water. You can't take more water from the bottom than from the top. The glass empties as a whole. The same thing happens with your body. Zach's crunches are building muscular endurance that will never show as long as there's a layer of fat on top. Abs are built in the gym, but they're revealed in the kitchen. So what's happening with Zach? A 450-calorie smoothie his brain never registers. No carbs at night that just leads to midnight peanut butter. Fasted cardio that burns 3 grams of fat and spikes his appetite. Healthy food without portion control. A thermogenic that lasts 2 weeks before tolerance kicks in. Crunches that don't change his belly. 6 strategies, all with some logic. all failing for the same reason. The body is a compensation machine. For every trick you use to burn more fat, the body has a mechanism to balance back. The only thing the body can't fully compensate for is a real, consistent calorie deficit sustained with enough protein and strength training. There is no shortcut. There is a process, and the process starts with understanding what's working against you. Zach knows now. If you identified with any of these 6, drop a comment below which one. All studies cited in this video are in the description. I'm Tani, and if this video made sense to you, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks.